Here is a 2024 Volkswagen Tiguan SE R-Line Black and Opal White Pearl over titanium black leatherette. This year for the S trim, we're getting the IQ Drive. It's going to be a full refresh next year, so should we option the 24 or wait for the 25? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and the Tiguan starts off with full LED headlights, daytime runnings. When you get into the SE, get the light bar. The R-Line will give you the gloss black aesthetics on the lower skirt and on the side curtain, with touches of it across the door trim, the roof rails, the mirror housing, R-Line badging, and in the rear, it's going to look like you have a quad exhaust tip outlet because of the trim piece. All trims will receive the 2.0 liter TSI Turbo 4, producing 184 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque paired to an 8-speed Tiptronic automatic transmission, achieving 23 mpgs for the city and 30 mpgs for the highway. When you go SE R-Line, you're getting 19-inch gloss black wheels. If you go SE, it's 18-inch and a standard is a 17-inch. The SEL will get 20-inch wheels. The base S that receives the IQ Drive is going to have the semi-autonomous lane keeping assist mode, which was only previously on the SE and up. The 25 refresh will ride on the new VW MQB Evo platform, which is the underpins of the GTI hatchback and the Audi A3. It will also offer a plug-in hybrid, which Volkswagen is claiming is going to get 62 miles full electric. I'm kind of excited to see the plug-in hybrid variant for the Tiguan, because this can be optioned as a 7-seater or a 5-seater, in which, when you're thinking of the size of this compared to the Atlas, it's almost night and day difference, because the width and the length is a lot longer and wider than this, and you still have enough cargo capacity to go for a vacation and fill up the vehicle with 7 occupants. And all trims will have LED taillights and towing up to 1,500 pounds. I kind of wish that they would expose the dual exhaust outlet instead of adding this trim piece, even though it matches all of the Volkswagen lines, just would look a little bit sportier. Because when you're comparing it against Honda, Toyota, or Nissan, this is going to be one of the best in class for towing against Honda, unless you go to the non-hybrid, then it's the exact same. Cargo, though, is going to be a little bit more here, because you also have cargo underneath the floor, whereas when you get into the hybrid variants, you're not going to receive that. As for Toyota, that's going to have the best ground clearance. Nissan just had a refresh. If you go up to the Pathfinder, that's going to be more to the Atlas, in which this is going to be a compact Atlas, but it's still versatile. Quick release, going into 12 cubic feet of storage. You get a little bit of a storage bin, because when you pick this up here, you can hide that privacy cover. Otherwise, it's a pretty deep little pocket. Fold these seats down, at a 50-50 split, increasing cargo to 33 cubic feet. And you can do the same thing for the complete. Fold it all the way down flat, giving us a max cargo of 65.7 cubic feet. We need to go inside, start it up, so you can hear that exhaust note. Ten-way power seat adjustment for the driver with the VTEC leatherette heated front seat. 6-way manual seat adjustment. Cloth seat start on the S, and 6-way manual adjustment. The SE starts the power seat adjustment. Headroom and legroom. It's a smaller SUV, but they have a lot of space, which you're going to see. The dash is going to get the aluminum inlay look with the gloss black materials that's going to be surrounding everything. But what I like about this is, if you notice, it doesn't leave fingerprints like gloss black. With an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, CarNet, and you have the Climatron, which is a dual climate control. It starts in the SE and it just goes up the tier. The S will not have it. Put it into reverse, and we have a reverse camera with full trajectory for the front and the rear, front and rear parking sensors, and the lines expand out. Going into the touch sensitive, which you can either do by one, or you can just simply go quick with a QI wireless charger that will not come on the S. 2 USBs, a 12 volt leatherette around the shifter, and the key fob for the Tiguan. It's going to be pushed back a little bit. It is a little bit more sporty. Opens up into a deep storage pocket. It's just not so wide. Leatherette, R-line, flat bottom, 3-spoke steering wheel, multi-function. And it's a touch sensitive, so you can change out the layout of the 10.25 gauge cluster. And you can go through an array of information for the driver. The dashboard and the door panels configure in together. When you get into the SEL R-line, you'll get the Fender upgraded sound system. You're going to get that aluminum look that comes in. It's going to be more sporty with the leatherette and the contrast stitching, one touch up and down for all the windows, and a wide and large storage pocket. The SE R-line gets the pano moonroof and an auto-dimming rear view mirror. For the second row headroom and leg room, storage behind both of the front seats, USB ports, 12 volt air vents in the center, armrest with cup holders. And what I like about this is you don't have to go to the Atlas. You can go to the Tiguan and get a smaller variant if you don't want such a large vehicle. These seats also adjust forward, which this is basically where I would be able to sit in the back, which you'll see in a second. And you can recline these as well, if I can find the lever. Here it is. In which I don't think anyone's going to sit in the back seats. The door panel is going to be stripped of a lot of materials. You'll still get the leatherette that'll be coming in, but it's going to be more of plastic materials with a wide and deep storage compartment that's basically the same size as the front. Sliding to the center, feet space is going to be shared, but you can see it's quite a bit of feet space. Button and shoulder space isn't too bad because of the width of the vehicle. And for headroom, it's actually a little bit better sitting into the center if you're over 6 foot tall because of the pano. To enter into the third row, pull the lever. Now, because it's new, it's a little heavy, and that's going to be the opening to get 2 more for the third row. You have a little bit of storage, smaller window, and on the driver's side, you'll have a cup holder. As for headroom, it's going to be a little bit tight, but it's doable for a quick lunch. The leg space, if the seats are pushed up where it'll be tight for me, I can fit. Otherwise, you can see it's going to be hard, and the rails are pushed back, so sitting on the passenger side is going to be a little bit more cramped. 184 horsepower, 221 pound-feet of torque. Put it into the Tiptronic, and let's see how she goes. The Turbo 4 will liven up. It's a box on wheels, but the sound deadening is still pretty decent. Considering this is a more compact SUV compared to the Atlas, you're getting a lot of the Atlas in this before the refresh, obviously. And the major thing that I personally like I was saying on the exterior, is we are going to be receiving a PHEV. 62 miles, all electric range, and this much room is something to entertain when you're starting to look at the pricing that you're paying for on a vehicle. Because in this particular one, going from the SE R line to the SEL R line, you're talking $3,000 to $4,000 difference, in which, yes, you're going to get ventilated front seats. It's going to be leather upholstery for the first and second row, not the third row. And you're going to be getting bigger wheels, but it's a pretty high jump in price. That's going to take me to some pros and cons, and starting off with the pros is how versatile it is, because the interior space, it's not really that big, and it doesn't feel cramped like I'm claustrophobic. I can actually stretch out. The negative though is all the armrests, even in the center, it's pushed back, it's not so soft. So when you are going on a longer journey, I can see you getting a little fatigue or kind of move a little bit more so that way you're not using the armrest as much. The more comfortable variant will be the Nissan. Toyota and Honda are basically the same way. The layout is simplified. I do like the touch sensitive, because if I don't want to look down to change the Climatron or the dual climate control settings, I can just move my finger across it. I wish that the infotainment screen did not have so many different layers of apps, meaning you click into an app, and you got to click into another app, or you're clicking into multiple settings in order to change any configuration in the vehicle. I'm sure, hopefully they'll clean it up, but with the new Atlas, it's basically the same thing. So I don't see that changing much, except for maybe getting a larger screen and probably a little bit more cargo capacity or storage nooks, because we do not have a full pass-through, in which that was a big thing that they did for the Atlas. If you're comparing this to the Atlas, you're going to be getting a little bit better MPGs. Towing is going to be a lot less, though, if that's something you are considering. And third row occupants have the best leg space in class. And to move in and out of lanes, the steering is light. It's going to take me to the big problem, really, is the suspension itself is good, but the seats are more sporty and firm. And they don't offer a performance variant, but when we're getting an R-Line, I get it, the Atlas only has one engine option too. It just would be nice to give some kind of performance variant to the Tiguan, so that way we can either maximize in towing capacity, or you can just go a little bit faster, kind of like the Taos does, where it has the all-wheel drive and the two-wheel drive. Optioning the two difference will give you a little bit more of a sporty drive, and the other one will be more of a relaxed drive. So that's what I mean by the change there. But going for competitors, it's hard to say that this isn't a good comparable vehicle, because even though the cargo may not be as much as going into a CR-V, you'll still get more cargo underneath it and third row capabilities, where you're not going to achieve that there. You'd have to go to a Pilot. So this is kind of the sweet spot, because you can't compare this to a Pilot, you can't compare this to a Pathfinder, and yet you're getting that versatility, excluding the towing capacity. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Volkswagen of North Tampa for giving us this 2024 Volkswagen Tiguan SE R-Line Black for our car review.